Chapter 5. The Elves and the Shoemaker. Once upon a time, there was a shoemaker who was very poor through no fault of his own. He did not have enough money to buy leather and other things. He was having a hard time trying to make ends meet. One day, he found he had only a little bit of leather left. It was enough for only one shoe. He was worried and sad. He had no money to buy any more leather. He took the remaining piece of the leather and cut it up for the one shoe and left his work on the table with the idea of finishing it in the morning. He went to bed after praying to God to help him. After a night of disturbed sleep, he got up in the morning and decided to complete his work. He went to his table and found two shoes ready and completely finished. He was astounded. He did not know what to make of it. He picked up the shoes and inspected it closely, stitch by stitch. Everything was perfect. It was a masterpiece. He found that it was so neatly made that there was no bad stitch in them. A little later, a customer came to his shop and seeing the shoes pleased him so much that he paid 3 times more than the normal price for shoes. Now, the shoemaker had enough money to buy leather for 2 pairs of shoes. That night, he cut the leather for 2 more pairs of shoes. The next morning, when he went to start work with fresh hope for the future, he saw that the shoes were already made. There was no shortage of customers for the shoemaker. Every morning when he got up, the shoes were ready and waiting to be bought by someone. Every day he would cut the leather and leave it overnight. In the morning he would find the shoes were ready. This went on for some time. The word got around that the shoemaker was making good shoes. The shoemaker got many orders for shoes and he was no longer poor. He became rich. One evening before Christmas, the shoemaker finished cutting the leather as usual. This time he told his wife, "Let's stay up tonight and see who has been helping us out." His wife liked the idea. She lighted a candle and both of them hid themselves behind a cupboard in the room. A few minutes after the clock struck 12, two elves came into the room. They both sat at the shoemaker's table and took all the materials that was cut for them. They began to stitch and hammer so skillfully that the shoemaker was amazed and could not take away his eyes from their work. They did not stop till all the work was done and finished. They kept the shoes on the table. After the work, they ran away quickly. The next morning, the shoemaker's wife told her husband that since the elves had made them rich, they should be given something in return for their hard work. The shoemaker and his wife made some clothes, shoes, and some food, and left all these on the table. That night, when they came to the room, they found all the beautiful presents and were extremely happy and delighted. They dressed themselves, ate the food, and then disappeared into the night. After that night, they did not come again as they realized that they had been discovered. The shoemaker continued his business and prospered as long as he lived.